Hello everyone. Welcome back if you have been on this channel before, and if not, welcome. So today I'm going to share something that is a nice little reminder for all of us. And that is one when we find ourselves or recognize in ourselves that we're making decisions that don't make us feel good. We often say yes to things that we don't really want to go to, but we feel like we have to. Or we find ourselves in situations that you go, I don't really want to be here. And why am I here? Of course, those situations, if you're doing anything that starts to feel a little bit yucky in yourself, or you brings up anxiety, stress, all of these things, there's a reason why we shouldn't be there. So today I want to share what exactly our choices are in any given moment and how our body shows us signs, our soul shows us signs if we're making the wrong decision. Today I'm going to call this our choice. It is in every given moment we have two choices. We have one that our soul wants us to do, and we have one that our soul does not want us to do. Essentially, it's one the soul wants to go or the ego wants to go. So if you can imagine and think of your scenario and your examples that come to mind as I share this, is we're going forward and we're giving an option. We're given an option, or we're invited to something and there's a fork in the road. Okay? We have to make a choice. There's no alternative. We have to make a choice. If we don't make a choice, the choice will of course be made for us, which is not good either. So when we come up against this little fork, we have one that goes, the soul says yes. That is what feels good to us. What do we want to do? Are we being invited somewhere and we don't really want to go? Our soul doesn't want to go. So we say no. But that can often be a challenge for some of us to stand in our courage and say, we don't want to go to something. So what do? We take the other option. We go, because that seems easier. We don't have to confront someone and say that we can't go. But what have we just done at that fork? We're going the way the soul doesn't want us to go. We're going away from what brings us connection, what brings us peace, what brings us calm and harmony, where we feel comfortable and connected in life. We're just taking ourselves out because there was maybe something here that we did need to overstep. We did need to learn to be able to say no. We can say no in very, very nice ways, but we can still say no. In fact, it's necessary for us to become well and whole in ourselves. We need to know where those boundaries are. If you haven't watched one of my previous videos on boundaries, it's called The Garden Fence. Please do so, because in establishing boundaries, we need to understand how politely we can say no to things that don't feel well. And this is where this merges with this video, the choices we have. The soul, our spirit, our internal essence deep within us, wants us to go towards love at all times. To take this decision and these two choices a bit deeper, our choices we have in any given moment are one towards love and one away from love. It's not hard to understand which one is going in the opposite direction to the one our soul would like us to go. But we make these choices. Subconsciously, we make these choices. Our soul is asking us love in every given moment, in every conversation, in every thought. This is what we're here to master. I'm not saying it's easy. By no stretch of the imagination is it easy, but that's what's being asked of us. Because then when we harmonize ourselves in those choices and we're making these steps towards love, maybe more frequently than what we did, we can feel it in ourselves. We can feel it's making ourselves feel better. We're listening to this. We're starting to listen to this. So 1 towards love, 1 away from love. So let's bring up some scenarios for ourselves that maybe we're making some decisions in our life. Okay, bring the decision that we have to make. We've got 1 towards love, we've got 1 away from love. Maybe if that's hard to decipher what that is and what that's not, let's go with the symptoms we feel. Bring up the 1 option to go with it or to not go with it. We'll probably split it up to that for the choices. So to go with this decision, how does that make you feel in your body? Imagine yourself in that decision, or you've taken it, you've accepted it. Imagine, what can you feel in your body? Does it make you feel warm and fuzzy, excited, happy, joyous? Can't wait. Does that feel good? What happens if you don't take the decision, or if you turn the decision or the whatever's being offered down the other side? How does that make you feel? And it can be flipped. I'm not saying you have to take the decision to feel the warm and fuzzies. It might be not taking the choice that's been granted or something that's come into your way. The scenarios can be quite different. So I ask for fluidity and a bit of flexibility, but the 2 choices that we can come into with these decisions is recognizing, what are we feeling? Our body talks to us all the time. All the time. Constant dialogue. So when we come up to the fork in the road and we're unsure what's the right decision to make, we're really unsure. Where should we go? What's right for us? What's right for our family? This is family separate. This is coming back to an individual you. Because when that decision's right for you, it's also right for your family. So, fork in the road, the 2 options. Recognizing how that feels. Once we feel the symptom in us, we can recognize, does it feel good or does it not feel good? What are we feeling? Recognizing further than that, okay, I'm not really feeling good about this. Why am I not feeling good? Is there a blockage? Is there a fear? Would you like to have the courage to be able to do what you're maybe wanting to do, but you just can't get there? Take yourself across the blockage. Can you see yourself in that, doing that choice? Does that then give you the warm and fuzzies? So we have to recognize what our body's telling us and what we're feeling and where. If you're making a choice and this area hurts your heart, or it's one of love, it can often seem like the hardest decision at the time to turn down or to choose the other thing for love, for yourself, but ultimately your body responds in abundance. Abundance. Your soul wants you to go towards love every single time. Let's think about our thought patterns as well. When we consciously become aware of what's running on inside this little hamster wheel of ours that never stops, is that one towards love? Or is that one away from love? Are we filling our head with the opposite, fear, the total opposite to love? Negativity, total opposite from positivity and love. The choice is ours. The choice is ours which one we take. And we have to be responsible and accountable for the choices we make. Like I said at the start of this video, we are here to make the choices for ourselves. If we don't make them, they will be made for us. They will be made for us. And that might not be the way we should be going, because ultimately we haven't made the choice for ourselves. And as we step into that love, the choices and the decisions aligned to love, you will feel it. We feel it in our body. We feel this acceptance that we're listening, we're honoring, and ultimately we are respecting this. If we find ourselves making the decisions and choices that make us feel yucky, make us feel depleted, make us feel stressed, we're not listening and respecting this at all. And when we don't respect this, it shows us the signs that we don't want to see. It shouts to be heard. Our body physically will shout to be heard in many different ways. And that's what I talk about, this ultimate health and well-being that we're here to master and understand. Because if we keep going in that direction, away from love and away from what our soul is guiding us towards, we get sick. We get sick mentally, physically, emotionally, spiritually. If we go towards love, we start to release the sickness. We start to build that connection between physical, mental, emotional, energetic, spiritual well-being. That nice little quote, love wins. It wins every time if we allow it to. And it's ultimately what we all want to feel and what we all want to receive and give. But it starts here. It starts here, which is sometimes the hardest part. It's easier to give it to other people than it is to ourselves. So recognize today the choices and the decisions. Every minute, every single minute of the day, we have a choice towards love or away from love, towards and connecting to our soul, away from our soul. As we go away from our soul, we make our journey and our path way more difficult. Way more difficult. I'm not saying it's not necessary. Sometimes it is to learn the lessons to come back into the path. And when we come up against the next fork in the road, we know which one to take. That's how we learn. So with that, today I've chosen love tea, again, quite ironically, and I send you much love. Decisions are never easy to make. The choices are never easy to make. But as we make them more and more, and we align in our strength of who we are and what feels good, it gets easier and easier and easier. Practice is the key. So sending so much love out to each and every one of you. Thank you for listening. Thank you for being a part of this newborn channel. And I look forward to connecting with you all again soon. So namaste from my heart to yours.